everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video I'm working on 2 townhouses in the world of Britechester, and I know I said I was going to go back to single unit lots, but here I am building a couple of townhouses in Britechester because I'm just still so much enjoying building the multi-unit lots and especially these townhouses, and I haven't actually built any neighboring townhouses in Britechester ever since this pack came out. So I thought it would be a really fun idea to actually sit down and build a couple of townhouses. So that's what we're doing today. It's 2 townhouses. They're basically split down the middle. The floor plans are the same for both of them, but because they're kind of one house is one little block more forwards than the other one, if that makes sense. You can kind of see that in how they're laid out here. That means that one of the houses is slightly larger than the other one because the back is essentially the same. So they have just a couple more tiles in this house on the left here, and that makes it so that their kitchen layout is slightly different, but honestly it's the smallest little difference. They're very much the same. And I actually built these townhouses, or I actually decorated one of these townhouses with the Not So Berry challenge in mind, because I'm playing the Not So Berry challenge over on Twitch, and I'm currently on the 1st gen. We started it a few weeks ago, so I haven't been playing it for that long, but we're currently on the 1st gen, which is the mint gen. And we have our heir had a daughter. Actually, she had twins, but the girl, it was twins, a boy and a girl, and the girl, she's named Ruby. She's going to be the heir for the Rose gen, and she's going to go to college in Britechester at some point. She's only a teenager now. She just aged up into a teenager the other day when we played the challenge, so it's a while away, but I was actually very excited to build something here for students, or with students in mind. So one of these townhouses is actually decorated with the Rose gen in mind. So you'll see that I use a lot of red and darker pink for the color scheme. So that is for the Rose challenge. This is not going to be the Rose gen house. I will also do a Not So Berry Rose gen house speed build at some point when I sit down to build Ruby's actual house, but this is just going to be temporary housing for her for when she goes to college. Now the funny thing is that in the Not So Berry challenge, we actually won the lottery. So unexpectedly, we became very rich. That was so crazy. I think that only happened to me once. Years ago, I had a sim win the lottery, and after that, it's never happened since. So it's actually crazy lucky that we won the lottery. At first, I was like, oh no, now we're so rich, that's kind of boring. But we actually decided to invest it in properties. So my mint heir, she actually bought this really, really big apartment building in San Sequoia that she is the property owner of, and she kind of makes money that way, so we kind of invested that money. But because we're so rich now, there's no point in Ruby going to college and living in a disgusting little dorm room. That's not nice. I mean, we could for gameplay purposes, of course, but I was like, you know what, we're rich now, so what we're gonna do instead is, as soon as Ruby goes to college, we're going to just have her purchase these townhouses so she can go to college but also make money as a property owner in Britechester. So I know that's kind of crazy. It's kind of insane. She is so lucky, but that's just how it is because we have the money now. So at some point, she's going to actually purchase both these townhouses, and she's also going to live in one, essentially, ideally with a roommate. I have yet to see in the game if you can combine being a property owner and also having a roommate through the roommate system, which I think came with Discover University, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that works. If that doesn't work, then we're just gonna have another sim, maybe a friend or something, move in with her for the time being so they can be their roommate in that way. But I really hope that we can just get a roommate through the roommate system. That would be really, really cool. And then we're also gonna have people living next door. Now, ideally, again, I would have loved it if we could have students next door, but I don't think you can set that for the like when you rent out a unit, if you can make it so that only students can rent it. I don't think that's a possibility because it's not student housing, it's regular housing, if that makes sense. Like, it's all becoming very confusing now, but I just kind of want to go ahead and see how far I can stretch the different functionalities in the game and how I can combine them. I would be really happy if I could have a roommate living with me in the unit. Like, that would be really fun, but we'll see how things go. So essentially what I'm trying to say is that I did furnish these houses, especially the first one we're decorating, which is the unit on the right. That one is decorated with students in mind, but it's not like gross and cheap and ugly student housing. It's actually very sophisticated and nice and more like a young person's first house kind of an aesthetic. So that's what we went with. And like I said, I used lots of red colors, but I combined it with a lot of darker pink and also just like some different colors, because for the Not So Berry challenge, if you're not familiar with it at all, basically it's a legacy challenge where each generation is based on a specific color, which you probably already guessed. And then the rose challenge is, I think, supposed to be based on red. It's a little bit confusing to me, rose, because there's also a pink gen. So that one's going to be based on the color pink. So I'm taking it that the rose gen is going to be based on the color red. That's how I took it, at least. That's what I'm doing. But I am not really good with the color red for interiors. I don't know what it is, but the color red, it just doesn't really resonate with me. I don't know, it just doesn't really want to work with me, or at least I don't really know how to use the color red. I am not really good at it, so it was definitely a challenge. I at first wanted to go for like red wallpapers and things like that, but that was too much. I did use red in the tiles, like in the bathroom and in the kitchen, and I chose this red brick. It's a red brownish brick, but it definitely has some red tints to it for the exterior. So I thought that was a nice touch, like that was a nice creative way of going with the color red, if that makes sense, as opposed to making the whole house like bright red. I went with red brick, and I think that I can get away with it. It looks pretty red to me, at least. And also at some point I'll be changing the flowers in the flower boxes to the red swatch. I'm using the yellow flowers now, which I personally like better, but because this is supposed to be for the rose gen, I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna have to go ahead and use some red flowers in the flower boxes. So that's what I did. And then for the rest, I don't know, maybe it's a little cheaty, but also, like I said, this is not the Rose Gen's final home. It's just their temporary living, like their temporary housing for when they're in college. And then at some point, I feel like they probably will sell the units, this property. Maybe they'll just keep it and like make money off of it that way, but it's also quite a bit of work, and the Rose Gen also is going to have to focus on their career. From the top of my head, I think they're going to have to do the politics career, hence the college situation, because I thought that would be fun. Like, if they're going to be a politician, it's kind of realistic to like go to college first. You don't have to, but it's a nice change for the storyline as well. I feel like that'd be cool. And also the Rose Gen heir actually has to have the serial romantic aspiration, which is kind of funny. So I thought that the whole college thing would be a nice way to get started on that. Like, you meet a lot of people, you can be in you can be in a couple of relationships, like that sort of a thing. I think that would be really, really cool. So I feel like college in that way makes a lot of sense for the Rose Gen, hence my decision to have the Rose heir go to college. And I think it's going to work out nicely. I'm very excited to actually do some gameplay, especially also in these townhouses. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I actually can't wait to see how they work in game. They're pretty small, pretty cramped. They're both, by the way, 2-bedroom houses. Like I said, the floor plans are pretty much identical. They're both 2-bedroom houses, and they have 1.5 bathrooms each. We have a small, like, half bathroom downstairs. It's not even a half bathroom because it's literally only a toilet. You're going to have to wash your hands in the kitchen because that bathroom downstairs is so small. But I thought that like only one toilet for a house with 2 bedrooms, I mean, it's definitely possible. But if you wanted to have like a small family live here, you could totally have like 2 parents and then two children sharing a bedroom. That would definitely fit in this house. It would be cramped, but it's possible. So if you wanted to do that, then maybe one bathroom with only one toilet in the house is going to be a little bit of a stretch. So I really wanted to try to put some toilets, or at least one extra toilet. So I was able to do that in the back of the house by the staircase. It would actually also make a really cute laundry nook. That was my first idea. That was my initial thought. But I didn't really want to have to deal with laundry when we move in here, because I'm actually going to use these houses for gameplay. So I decided, you know what, let's not bother with the laundry when we're also in college. College on its own in The Sims, but also in real life, but like in The Sims, is very difficult. It's pretty hard. I have had my Sims fail multiple times in multiple subjects. Like, it's subjects? Subjects. I can't speak. It's fine. I don't know. It's not easy. And I've also had 2 Sims in college at once, and that's pretty much undoable. Like, that is really difficult. I was not able to do it. I had to get rid of one of the Sims because I just couldn't have 2 Sims in college and have them do well at the same time. It was literally impossible. I think at some point they actually tweaked some settings there. Like, they fixed some of the gameplay, like some of the bugs or glitches or things that were too difficult. I think they changed the settings, like for like an update for something, but I'm not exactly sure what changed. But especially as this pack first came out, college was really difficult. And that's also why I chose to build a house off campus for my Sim to live in and not have them move into a dorm room on campus. Because the issue with that is, it's fun and all when they live on campus and they like get to walk to their class. It's kind of fun, but the walking takes so long to get them from their dorm room to the class that they're always going to be late. This has happened to me every single time. Like, my Sims are always like an hour late to class because the walk to class is so long. Even if you have them ride a bike or something, it's not convenient. So I decided, you know what, let's just live off campus so they can go to class through a rabbit hole. It's a lot more convenient that way. They don't have to walk, they're not going to be late, and that's going to save me a lot of time and a lot of trouble. So that is what I'm doing. That's why I'm building here off campus today. But yeah, you can really see this house come together, the interior. It's really small, it's really cramped, but I really like how the floor plan turned out. It's a pretty closed off floor plan, which makes sense because I was definitely imagining these houses to be pretty old. So we have like a front door that leads you straight into the living room, and then there is a closed off kitchen / dining here in the back of the house. And then all the way in the back, like off of the kitchen, there is a staircase all the way in the back. So I thought that was kind of fun. I've never done it that way, but we had like this weird bump out in the back. That looks really good from the exterior, but on the inside you're like, ooh, what are we gonna do with this? And then I realized, you know what, this makes a great area for a staircase. So I decided to place the staircase all the way in the back. It saves a lot of space for like the kitchen and dining and stuff, or the living room, kitchen, dining like area. It saves a lot of space for that. So that's actually really good. And since I was imagining students living in this house, I did try to go ahead and clutter it up a little bit. Like I said, it's not like disgusting, gross, cheap student housing, but it's also not the nicest in the sense that they don't have the most expensive furniture pieces. Like, I used that IKEA bookcase in the living room, for example, but also like I mixed it with this very old looking bookcase that was probably already here, like in the house. Maybe it's like built in some ways, kind of what I was imagining. So that's already there. Then they have a really nice cozy couch that they probably did spend some money on, but then the dining chair tables, or the dining table chair, I really can't talk today. I'm not sure what's going on. But the chairs by the dining table look really old, and they probably got those thrifted or secondhand or something for like a cheaper price. So there's definitely some mixing and matching of different furniture styles and different types of objects that don't necessarily go together, but it does look realistic, like in a student's house or just like in a real home, you know? Not everything is always going to be perfectly matchy and just go together perfectly. So I was kind of trying to make it look very realistic in that sense, and also make it look like these are young people living here. They don't have it all together. They're still in college, like that sort of a thing. That's kind of the vibe that I was going for. And then this bedroom here was important to me because this is Ruby's bedroom, which is the Not So Berry Challenge Rose Gen heir. So she's going to be staying in this bedroom. So I really wanted to try to have the red come through in this bedroom. I was really trying to step out of my comfort zone, use a lot of red. And this bed that I'm using from high school years really helped with that. I think this bed with this bedding is so pretty. Like I said, I'm not the greatest when it comes to using red in my interiors, but that bedding is so pretty. That shade of red just really, really worked for me. So I decided to just base the entire bedroom off of that bedding. And it's a little bit all over the place. I definitely used different shades of red. I also used some pinks, and then I mixed and matched it with a darker wood tone and also with a lot of gold. So it's very girly, princess-y, very sophisticated, but also kind of all over the place. And I used a lot of different colors, and it definitely looks like a young person's bedroom. It could even almost still be a teenager's bedroom, because I did use a lot of high school years in here, but it just really, really worked. And I love those curtains. I don't think I've ever used those curtains in that shade or in that swatch. Maybe I have, but those are curtains from high school years as well, and they're so pretty. I love the color, and they were perfect for the red that I was trying to do in this bedroom. And then we also have the roommate's bedroom, which compared to Ruby's room is extremely sad. I don't know, it's a lot smaller. We only have a single bed in here, and because I'm not sure what kind of a sim is going to be staying in this room, it could literally be anyone, I decided to keep it pretty generic. So I just went for a blue color scheme in here, but also still some red details, as you can see, because I kind of wanted to keep the red going, but also this is a different person staying in this room. So I wanted to make it like look different and stand out a little bit. So that's what I'm doing. And this is just like, it's not very like decorated and personalized because it's for someone, like we don't know who it's for, basically. So it has a lot of generic decorations, but definitely some stuff going on, of course. And with the roommate system, you always want to have a little bit of space for clutter, because they're always like, could you please clear out some space so I can place my things somewhere? And they usually end up like with a plant and a lamp, and they like just want a little surface to put it, basically. So that's kind of what I try to do in that bedroom. And then here we have the one and only full bathroom in the house. I decided to go for just a shower, not a shower tub combo, because I was planning on just having young adults living in this house, and they don't really need a bath. They can make do with a shower, you know, so I decided to go for a shower. It's a little bit less luxurious and a little bit more realistic in that sense. And the tile that I'm using in both the kitchen and the bathrooms is from For Rent, and with the red color, it's something I would have never picked if it weren't for the red gen, like for the red Not So Berry gen. And I'm so happy that I did, like that little challenge had me step out of my comfort zone, because I love that tile. Like, it's so pretty with the red and the yellow and the orange tones in it. It's just really, really pretty. And then I'm also quickly decorating the backyard, which is really simple because it's really small, but I had a lot of fun with it. I just placed a grill, of course, in red, and then a small dining table, and then also actually a ping pong table because I had the space for it. I haven't actually playtested that, so I'm not sure if it works. It might be too cramped, but I think it does work. I think it should. I have put ping pong tables in very cramped spaces before, and somehow they are never a problem. They always just work, and I'm very thankful for that. So I think it should be fine in the backyard. And then I'm also quickly decorating the house next door. I wanted this one to just be completely decorated and ready to go. Also, if you just want to download this house and play with it for yourself, then this house is fully decorated. It's a little bit more simple in the sense that I didn't really decorate this with a specific household in mind. So it's not as personalized or cluttered, but I definitely wanted to make it look cute. And I wanted to try out a different layout for the living room as well, because, you know, otherwise it might be a little bit too repetitive, and I just wanted to try something a little bit different. And I knew from the get-go that that little corner there where I now place this corner couch, like that built-in couch, would be perfect for set couch. We have a couple of different ones in The Sims. So I knew I wanted to do one of those couches for this house. I actually wanted to try and place it in the first house, but it just didn't end up working out. So I decided to just get rid of the idea for that house, but then use it here in this house and see what I could come up with. And I actually really like the layout for this living room for some reason. I love the built-in couch, and then they just added in another couch for some extra seating, and it's not perfect, but I kind of like how it looks, like how it's like sitting there. I don't know, but it looks cozy and realistic to me. And then for the rest of this area, I wasn't really sure what to do at first. I just placed a really big bookcase. I think I swapped it out. Yeah, I used one from university in the end. And I just placed a plant and a lamp and obviously some entryway clutter as well. And then here behind the couch, I had some awkward space that I wasn't sure what to do with. And I decided to actually place a game table. That's a games table from, I think it's from the Growing Together expansion pack, if I'm not mistaken. So they can do some really fun games at that table. And I decided to just place it against the couch because of that awkward little space that I had in the back. I'm not sure if it works. I didn't playtest that one. I did put 2 chairs, but they're not facing each other. So I'm not sure if, like, for example, if you want to have your Sims play chess, you're obviously going to have 2 chairs facing each other because that's how the game works. But these game tables, you can put up to 4 chairs around it and it works. So these chairs aren't actually facing each other, they're not opposite, but I think it should still work. I'm not exactly sure. Otherwise, it just looks like a really cute breakfast table behind the couch, which also works and is also really cute. And then for the kitchen here, I actually essentially did the same thing as I did next door, except it is mirrored. But I have the exact same kitchen. They have a little bit more space in here, so they have also a four-seater dining table, just like the house next door, but they have a little bit of extra space around the table. So I decided to place a little china cabinet and just some decorations on the wall. They also have that awkward little bathroom by the staircase, which you're going to have to wash your hands in the kitchen. We are paying attention, so do make sure to do that. And then I also went through and placed some light switches. I've really been trying to get better at putting light switches, but usually they just end up in a couple of rooms and then I forget about it and then they're not there for the rest of the house, which is really unfortunate. I really want to be more consistent with my light switches, but I just forget about it. I don't know why. And then for the bedrooms here, like I said, I wasn't really sure if I was gonna have students live here or just a family or like other people. I just wasn't sure. So I decided to go for one 2-sim bedroom, basically like a parent's bedroom, I guess, for a couple, or 1 sim. And then the smaller bedroom just has a single bed in it. So that could be for either a teenager or a young adult or a kid, though this house doesn't have any children's like toys or anything. So if you wanted to have a kid live in the space, you might want to go through and change up the bedroom a little bit, put in some toys, make it a little bit more appropriate for a kid. But like I said, I'm really hoping I can just have young adults live here. If I am going to be the property owner, which I am, then I'm pretty sure I can pick my own tenants. Like I can kind of pick and choose from a list of tenants. So I could go ahead and go for a household with just young adults, but it is going to sleep up to 3 Sims. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what kind of tenants will come up on the list. You know, it's kind of exciting that way. You can't, you don't have full control over it, which I actually kind of like. And then here in this single bedroom is just what I'm going to call it. I also placed a desk with a computer. The layout for this one is a little bit strange with the bookcase in the corner there, but it just fits so snugly and I really liked it, and I wasn't sure who this bedroom was going to be for anyway, so I decided to just turn it into like a little office slash bedroom kind of a situation, and I thought that would make sense in here. I also wanted to decorate it a little bit and choose somewhat of a color scheme, though I did use a lot of white in this room, which was different. I used a white bed and a white bookcase and a white chair, so that was pretty different for me, but I do like how it came together. And then they also have a bathroom, which is in the same spot, and it also has the exact same layout, except it's mirrored. So yeah, it's nothing too fancy, nothing too special there. And then they obviously also have a backyard, and I just went ahead and placed a grill as well, and a nice seating area here with a picnic bench Also a couple of gardening pots, so you can do some gardening in here if you wanted to, a couple of loungers, and then that's basically it. So let's jump into the game and I'll show you the townhouses in real time. So here we have the townhouses in the game. I actually also just went ahead and placed them on the lot next door, which I think is really cute. How cute is it to have these matching townhouses in this area of the world? Like, it's just so symmetrical with these, with this pond in the middle with a fountain. I don't know, I think they look great here. So I kicked out the Pleasant sisters and put these townhouses next door as well. But these are the ones that I decorated. So here you can see we have the front door area. I parked a couple of bikes. We have some letter boxes, and I feel like it looks really inviting. In the back here, of course, we have the really tiny backyards. They're really small, but I feel like it looks super cozy. So there's that as well. Then moving on to the inside, this is the one that I furnished for the Rose Gen of the Not So Berry Challenge. So you can definitely see that I tried. I did use a little bit more pink than I did red for a lot of the furniture items and decorations. I'm sorry, I'm trying. I promise for the next Not So Berry Rose House, I'll go more crazy with the red. But you can kind of see this looks very cozy. We have an entryway space here with a bookcase and of course the living room here. It's very cluttered. We definitely have some students living here. They have a lot of books and things around the place. And then through this archway here is the kitchen and dining. The kitchen's not actually that small. I feel like there's a decent amount of counter space. I did clutter it up for the most part, but you know, it's a pretty spacious kitchen. There's also a back door here off of the kitchen, and then in this nook here we have the dining table, of course. Then through this archway is this very tiny hallway where we have the half bathroom and the staircase leading us to the bedrooms. I really like this area here by the staircase for some reason. I like how it's like closed off with an archway, and then there's this nook for either a bookcase or an easel or something else, of course, but that's what I did. Then there is a landing here with some more bookcases. The landing's pretty basic, pretty boring. There is a bathroom at the end of the hallway with a shower, a toilet, and a sink, of course. And then over here is the Rose Jen's bedroom, which again, I use a lot of pink, but I also use a lot of red, okay, in my defense. I feel like this bedroom is very personalized, and I don't know, I just think it looks so cute. So we have a small little desk with a computer here, a dresser, some knickknacks here in the corner, and then of course the bed as well. And then this is the roommate's room, which compared to the other one is really sad, but you know, it's a bedroom. It's not all that small. It's pretty spacious actually. So there's a single bed in here, and then just a desk and a bookcase so they can get some studying done. And then of course we have the house next door. This one's layout is a little different. The floor plan's the same, but the living room layout is a little different. So they also have an entryway space here with a bookcase, and then they have this corner couch here, which I think is just so cozy. This would be the perfect spot to just sit down and do some reading. Super cozy. I would love it. And then they also have a regular couch here with a TV, of course, and a game table over here, which I thought was really cute. And then through this archway is their kitchen, which is the same. They also have some appliances here and some clutter. I couldn't help myself. I was gonna make this house not as personalized, which it's not, but it definitely still has some clutter going on. And then here they have their 5-seater dining table and a china cabinet in the corner. Then upstairs, their landing is pretty much the same. I used the same bookcases because I just thought it looked satisfying. So I did that. And then over here is the big bedroom. I love the color scheme in here. This bed from High School Years. High School Years has so many great beds, honestly. So I used another one in here, and I merged a couple of dressers together for this bedroom. This would make a really good parents' bedroom. And then this one over here would make a great teens room or kids room, but for kids you might want to like go through and add some color and some toys, of course. But they have a single bed here, and then a desk with a computer with some clutter and just your regular bedroom furniture. But that is basically it for these townhouses. So these Britechester townhouses are up on the gallery as a residential rental with 2 units total. If you want to purchase This residential rental, as the property owner, it's going to cost you just over 107,000 simoleons. And I built it on a 20 by 15 in the world of Britechester in the middle area. So not on either one of the campuses, but in the area where the pub is located, basically. So if you want to place it in your game, then that is where it goes. But that's going to do it for today's video. So I really hope that you enjoyed this one. You can go ahead and download this build off the gallery like I just showed you. My username on the gallery is Simmary Sims. You can also follow me on Instagram and on TikTok if you'd like. My username on there is Simmary Sims as well. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, feel free to do so. And if you want to be notified of every single time I upload a video, just click that little bell icon and you should be fine. I also live stream over on Twitch a few times a week. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and give me a follow over on twitch.tv/Simmary Sims. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.